It's going to be a tall order. The Celtics are going to be rested. Game 1 on Monday night. You hope Jalen Brunson's ankle is feeling better by then. But they're going to need great stuff, not just from Brunson, but up and down their lineup, just to really make this any sort of series.
Absolutely. Alan, you cover the Knicks day in, day out, so you know it as well as anybody. Give us a quick thumbnail on what we can expect in what will be, I think, one of the real glamour series in this second round.
Yeah, 16th meeting between these franchises, but you have to keep two things in mind. Number one, the Knicks have gotten one win in the last nine matchups with this team. They struggle against them.
Wow.
They made blockbuster trades in the offseason for this matchup. Nobody thought the Cavs were going to be what they were. The Knicks were hoping that they'd be right there with Boston. They needed somebody that could pull Porzingis out of the paint. Karl-Anthony Towns. They needed another wing to deal with their wings in Tatum and Brown. So you bring in Mikal Bridges. Their roster was built for this series. But yet, what you saw in the regular season tells you they're still very far away.
Final word.
You're going to see Jalen Brunson, and he's going to have to be prolific in this series. You're going to see him hunt different matchups against Porzingis and Al Horford in pick and roll. If he can do that and relieve some space from Jrue Holiday or Derek White, they might have a fighting chance, but it's not going to be great.
That series begins next week. Our next stop, meanwhile, is LA. The Lakers coming off their 5-game first-round exit against Minnesota, one in which J.J. Redick's coaching decisions have been called into question a great many times in places, including here yesterday. I asked Kendrick Perkins if Redick was to blame. Here's what Big Perk said.
You damn right I'm blaming J.J. Redick. You damn right. Mr. J.J. Redick, I know more about basketball than anybody else in the world. Mr. J.J. Redick, where the world is watching and could see that you need some type of size and athleticism on the floor when you're going against a physical, lengthy Minnesota team, but you still leave this small ball lineup out there on the floor and leave a 40-year-old senior citizen in LeBron James to battle in the trenches for a 7-game series that went 5. This is not about X's and O's and schemes. This was common sense. You needed to make an adjustment.
All right, so that went super viral yesterday. And George Karl, Hall of Fame head coach, tweeted this as well separately from Big Perk. He tweeted, maybe previous coaching experience does matter to be a head coach in the NBA. Why are you making that face?
Because these are like petty, low-hanging fruit responses. Like I hear everybody talking about experience matters. That's why you have a staff of experienced people. It's not like J.J. Redick was in a hole by himself saying, I'm going to come up with this scheme and I'm going to implement the scheme. He had over 30 years of head coaching experience on his staff that helped him develop the scheme. Just for the record.
I hear that.
Just for the record. I hear that. And if you were trying to make it like
the head coach is always going to be the guy that takes all the...
I understand that.
You were saying this the other day.
Every coach has a system.
Agree. I agree.
When you were talking about Tom Thibodeau the other day, you were saying the same thing. The head coach has to wear all the credit, take credit and the blame.
Look, you want to be a head coach? I thought Michael Wilbon said it perfectly on our air yesterday.
There's accountability there.
Do you take blame? It's his responsibility.
Agreed.
That's your job. When you're the head coach, this is your job. If you want your life to be easy, do what I do. Sit here after the result has been decided and analyze what just happened. That's a hell of a lot easier than in the fire, making decisions in the moment and then living with the consequences. JJ did. He took a few calculated risks. They didn't work. When that happens, you're going to get the blame, the responsibility, whatever word you want to attach to it. Does it make him a bad coach? Does it make him a bad guy? Does it make him dumb? It doesn't any of those things. He's a good coach. He's a very good guy. And he's a very smart guy. But he took a bunch of calculated risks. They didn't work. When you do that and you're a head coach, you're going to get the blame. That's
I agree.
life.
This is the second time this week that you and I have been in an argument, and I love it. So
I think we're saying the same thing.
No, we're not.
You're agreeing here.
We're arguing over whether or not we're arguing.
Agreed. But the thing is, I just don't like when it gets framed as who deserves the blame, all the blame. Like it's just that calculated decision that he made in game 4 or those smaller things that require, that's the reason why they lost.
I hear you. And I'm going to get Wendy in a second, but very quickly, the not making the adjustment that Big Perk is referring to. It's not just that.
I so vehemently disagree with Perk. There were a ton of adjustments that were made in multiple games.
But not with anybody over 6'9". I mean, that's
I
what
agree.
he's
So
saying.
I'm not absolving JJ of every single thing. The Jackson Hayes thing is mind-baffling to me.
I think that's
but obviously he does not have trust in Jackson Hayes if you're looking down your bench and the one big guy on your roster you're not going to play.
Let me give Woodman the final word on this. Wendy, go.
you go to any great coach. I don't care if you talk about Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich. I'm sure John Wooden and Red Auerbach would say the same thing. And you say, what was your first year of coaching like? And they're going to grab their head because they know that as great as a coach as you might be, you know in your first year you're going to make mistakes. J.J. Redick may not today be able to look back and say it, but sometime he's going to look back and say,
it's our guy, Miles Turner. Look, Miles Turner, technically, yes, he's going to be a free agent, and we'll talk about that a little bit when I break down Miles Turner's game, where he would fit, that sort of stuff. But the realistic way for the Lakers to get him is we're probably talking sign and trade here in order for them to land him. And again, there's going to be complications that come with that. I will break that down when we talk about Miles Turner. But a three-point shooting big man plus a rim protector. So we talk about like a Nick Claxton, and he's got the ability to block shots. I love his timing as a shot blocker, but he can't shoot the three. He can't shoot the three at all. Not true. Well, let's be fair. He took a few last year, but didn't go very well. Miles Turner, on the other hand, 40% three-point shooter as a big. Yeah, not bad. 40% from deep on 5.5 attempts per game. You got to love that, in addition to the shot blocking prowess. So he gives you something that not a lot of bigs can do. You get guys who can block shots or shoot threes. There's not a lot of guys who can do both. Miles Turner is one of those guys. So he is another option out there, potentially on the trade market. Does he want to leave Indiana? Does Indiana want to lose him? What does that situation look like? There's a lot of context to get into, but certainly a name to add into the mix. Now, another player that we've talked a lot about, Walker Kessler with the Utah Jazz. I know Utah doesn't want to move him and probably shouldn't want to move him, but Walker Kessler, I'll tell you what, similar to Nick Claxton in a way in terms of just his shot blocking prowess. I love Walker Kessler's ability to defend without fouling, to block shots, to be a presence at the rim. He negatively impacts field goal percentage at the rim at a very, very high level. His salary, super low, which is actually nice in terms of making a trade work and not having to give up too many players. Obviously, some challenges trading with Utah. Utah has the Lakers 2027 pick. They don't want to do anything that's going to make the Lakers any better. They don't want to diminish the value of their future pick. So is this a likely candidate? No, because I think there's too many hurdles to overcome. But this is absolutely a phone call Rob Pelinka should make, because Walker Kessler could very well wind up being the long-term fit for the Lakers with Luka. Remember, that's the lens for all of these guys that we're going to be looking through. It's how does this player fit long-term with Luka? That is now the way the Lakers business operates. It's how does this player fit with Luka? That is the goal. That's the vision. That's how the Lakers are going to build their team moving forward. Walker Kessler, I think, would be a very, very nice fit. Is he gettable? We'll see. Again, I'll get into the trade scenarios. I'll get into exactly how he would fit when we do his individual breakdown. But another player I want to throw